You are doing so well on your path. Yes, you are. We come here to give you the reminder that you really are doing very well. This is your sign. This is your message. This is your confirmation that you are on the right path. It's so nice knowing that everything that you want already exists, because when you ask for it, it's given, and there's a vibrational version of everything that you want, and it's all being held for you in this vibrational reality. So there really are 2 points of you. You have 2 points of attraction that you always have to keep up with, that you always have to be managing, that you always have to remember when you are out in the real world, or when you're out in life in these moments. Because in any moment, you can either go with what life has caused you to become, or you can stay where you are and observe where you are. And it's hard. The real difficulty comes when you realize that what you have, what you're looking at with your eyes right now, you call that real reality. You say that that's where you are. You come to the conclusion that you must just be a really poor person. You must just be a very confused person. That you must just have a body that you don't like. You come to these conclusions. You don't see reality as the temporary thing that it is. You don't see reality because when you don't realize that you're creating reality, you think that you're stuck with the reality that you have. But we're like, that's not really the case, because reality is always changing. But if you don't change your thoughts, then reality doesn't change. You see, if you're getting something that you don't like, that means that you have a wonky vibration going on. That means that whatever it is that you want, you're thinking more about the absence of it. So that's why you get the absence of what you want in your manifested form. So we say, if you don't, all manifestation is just an indication. It's an indication of vibration, a culmination of vibration, a reflection of everything that you're vibrating. But then you come up with these really interesting conclusions. You say, well, it was meant for me. It was from God. This is the path I'm supposed to take. I'm being tested. The universe is making me learn things. And we're like, it's not any of that. All it really is that you're a sloppy thinker. You have thoughts about things that you don't like because you're not sensitive to your emotion. You don't care about how you feel. And when you don't care about how you feel, then you don't have guidance. Because here's the thing, you are where you are right now, but where you want to go is over there. And your emotions allow you the guidance system. Your emotions literally tell you what to do. Isn't that crazy? All of it really comes back down to, are you positive? Are you optimistic in this moment? Or are you looking back? Because in any moment, you're either looking forward or you're looking back. You can't do 2 things at once, because it's impossible. You can't be half pregnant. You either are pregnant or you're not. You're either sad or you're not. You are either happy or not. But then sometimes we hear from our human friends, what if I'm sad but also happy at the same time? We're like, it's one or the other, because the problem and the solution are 2 different frequencies. And it's so interesting to us because everything is just a translation of vibration. You're so good at translating vibration. Do you know that? Do you know that you're so good at translating vibration, that what you see with your eyes, what you see what you feel with your fingertips, what you hear, what you smell, it's all just a translation of vibration. And your emotion is also translating a vibration as well. But it's manifesting, it's translating vibration in a form that you can't see with your eyes, so you just assume it's not there. And we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about imagination and the role it plays in the creation process. And so when you understand that you're just translating everything, that means that reality loses its flavor, it loses its appeal, it loses its realness, the gravity of it. It loses your nature to compound where you are, talk about it, to analyze it, to figure it out, because you can't get to the bottom of anything. Do you notice that? Do you notice that the more you just think about things, the more bigger it seems to get? Because it's an attraction-based world. There's no assertion. There's no aggression. There's no law of aggression. There's no law of assertion. There's no going back. Because when life has caused you to become something, it's time for you to become it. It's time for you to have everything that you want. And the momentum is picking up. Momentum is picking up, because sometimes you feel like you're on the brink of something. You are on the brink of something. And do you know what happens? We really warn you from saying things like that, because first of all, when you say you're on the brink of something, you notice that you're not there. So the absence clouds your vibration, 1, and 2, you begin to get very manifested. You become very manifestation oriented. So when you're on the brink of something, you're like, it's almost like you have one eye out and you're looking for it. And so when you see the absence, you get disappointed, and then you start to look back. Because here's the thing, where you are right now, and you can either go with the flow or against the flow. But sometimes when you see things like, I'm on the brink of something, because you can feel your vibration reality. You can literally feel the fullness of your desire. You can feel your desire in the vibrational form. You can feel it. And so you say, I'm on the brink of it. We're saying, no, you're feeling the vibration. And so when you translate these emotions, when you translate that realness, that fullness of your desire into emotions of like passion, eagerness, anticipation, excitement, joy, bliss even, then you say things like, well, that's crazy. When you say things like, well, I'm on the brink of it, we're like, no, you're just really imaginative because you're really translating it. And then you start to see images in your mind, you start to receive images. So now we're going to get into daydreaming. Daydream imagination. You know what's really interesting? Interesting is that everyone was so good at imagination and daydreaming when they were a kid. When you were younger, when you first got into this body and you remembered everything about energy, you knew about the law of attraction, you knew about your inner being, you knew about you in your physical form right now, and you knew about you in your non-physical form, and there was a relationship between the two. You understood your vibrational reality. And so you started to sit in your classrooms, but yet while you were sitting in these classrooms, you were imagining the life that you want to live. You were seeing yourself as a princess. You were seeing yourself as an actress, a famous person, this, that. And you truly create a world for yourself. But the craziest thing is that when you realize what being real is, what being realistic and responsible is, because you were taught responsibility, you were taught accountability. You're like, I have to be accountable, I have to be responsible, because that's what my parents are expecting of me. And my parents tell me that's what society needs from me. That's how I become a responsible kid, because I get more rewards when I'm responsible. So I'm going to be a realist. I'm going to look at the facts. I'm going to be realistic. And it's really the ones who fight against it the hardest, who come to this awareness that imagination is truly not something fake. Because when you're imagining something, it's not fake. It's not a pipe dream. It's not something that you're not creating images in your mind. You're unconsciously translating vibration into images. But where are these vibrations coming from? They're coming from your inner being, because the vibrational reality is a real place. It's not like a pipe dream. It's not something that you just have to believe in. It's something that you can accurately measure right now through your emotion. Your emotion can tell you how real your desire is right now. And so the more aware you are of a desire that you really want, the more you become aware of the thoughts that push you in the other direction, that take you in the other direction. You become aware, and your guidance system becomes so activated. So imagination, the role of imagination in the creative process is there's no role. It ultimately, it has a role in momentum. It plays momentum, because when you're creating images to make yourself feel good right now, because maybe you're living an experience where you don't have the money that you want, and you're like, you know what, I understand that I have the vibrational money that I want right now, so let me go enjoy the money in my head. And we agree with that, because everyone is offering all of their vibration in observance to what they're seeing with their eyes. So we call that what is. You're just looking at reality. You keep looking at reality, and that's why you keep getting the same thing over and over again. But like, you have to break the cycle. You have to offer a new thought, and one of the best ways to do that is to use your imagination. But the thing, this is a myth about imagination. You're not making something that's fake. You're not creating images in your mind. You're receiving it from source. You're translating the same way you translate vibrations with your eye into sight and color and shapes. And you can notice people's looks on people's faces. You can really translate things, right? And then you start to give meaning to those translations. So it's the same thing with your imagination. You're translating a vibration. So you're literally translating a true reality, but you're translating it in a different form. And so we tell you that there's a vibrational version of all of these desires, because we want you to enjoy the journey. We want you to not worry about not getting there, because we're like, you already have it. You already have the vibrational version. And the more you enjoy the vibrational version of your desire, for the sake of just enjoying it, for the sake of the pleasure of it right now, because you want it now. So you're going to go there in your mind right now. You're going to dream about it. You're going to see yourself writing that book. You're going to see yourself walking into that book signing. There's millions of people who are just screaming your name, and they don't make it crazy. It just feels right. It feels like a meeting of the mind, a meeting of the spirit of everyone in that room. It feels like we're all in this together kind of feeling. Because daydreaming when you were a kid, it was just like that. You weren't trying to create anything. You were just trying to get through school. You were just trying to enjoy the moment. That you were just trying to enhance the moment by creating something different. And the different is so interesting, because you think that you're imagining it. When you think imagine it with your imagination, you know what's crazy is that when you imagine these images, you become a lot more aware of where you stand in relationship to them. So when you see yourself as a billionaire in your mind, especially when you're a kid, and maybe you saw your parents and they were dealing with many issues, and so whenever that you would overhear the conversations and those look on their faces and stuff, you would imagine in your mind going to a place where you just had so much money that you would just give your parents all this money, but you would always come crashing back down to reality, because you were responsible. Because it's truly the odd kid out that stays in that fantasy world, but it's not a fantasy world, it's a true world, but stays in that state of dreaming about the money that they could give their parents. It's the odd kid that stays there, because the normal kids, or the kids that are trained really well, the kids that really care about getting the the approval from everyone else, they're the ones who snap back to reality, and they're like, oh, like they notice where they are. They're like, I don't have a billion, I don't have $1 billion. And so they learn that habit. They learn the habit of we don't all get what we want to get. reality must be slow. I must not be meant for things. And we're like, no, you're just looking at reality too soon. And that's it's truly the danger of observing a physical reality. We know, but there's also beauty in it because there's contrast. Because when you look at the reality that you're seeing with your eyes, you begin to practice the frequency of it. You begin practicing it, and then it pops up more. Imagination is your key to practice frequencies that you don't have access to because you can't see them, because you can't observe them with your eye. You can only observe them with your mind. So we're like, you should really set some time away in your day, especially if you have a lot of responsibility. You should set time, like just like when you were a kid, when you had no responsibilities and you had nowhere to go because you were just, I'm a kid, what can I really do? All I have to do is go to school tomorrow. But I have all this free time. Whenever you have that free time, imagine in your life, see your life as you want it to be, because it truly is. You know what's funny? It all comes back down to that. It all comes down to, if you don't have what you want, it's because the universe doesn't buy your image, because your image is wonky. You're not there all the time, because there's only one reason why you don't have the desire that you want. And that one reason is, are you ready for this? Because you are matched to the absence of it. And we know, because you're like, sometimes it's so hard to tell the difference between the absence and presence. And we're like, but here's the thing is that when you start to really activate your guidance system by realizing that there's a vibrational version out there, and that you should be expectant of your manifestation, because it's going to come, because it does exist and all the avenues have been set up and you can expect it, then once you get in that place of vibrational balance, then you can truly use your guidance, because we don't want you to sit in a place of complacency. We would rather you have your ass completely kicked by the momentum of your desires. We would rather you would be like, I am having such a rough, turbulent ride, because it's the ones who are normal who just accept being who accept being mediocre. It's those ones who are just they don't care about their guidance system. They don't care about feeling bad. They don't care about feeling good, because there's plenty of good to observe. But it's truly the ones who have a lot of big desires, who have a lot of big momentum, and they can't buck the current. Every time they buck the current, they have to go to go to things like drugs, and go to things like, they try to find ways out because the resistance is too much. They can't handle it, and ultimately a lot of them leave their bodies, because that is the path of least resistance. But we're like, what's crazy is that even when you leave your body, even when you reemerge back into your non-physical energy, and you leave behind all the doubt and resistance that you encountered in this lifetime, you leave all behind in one fell swoop, and then you become the vibrational version of everything. But even in receiving all of your desires, you're still enjoying the vibrational version of it only, because enjoying the physical, tangible reality is why you came into this experience. That's why we say manifestation is not evil. It's just not the whole picture, because when it's the whole picture and your manifestation is here right now, then you shoot yourself in the foot. So we're like, you can't do that. You have to realize that you can enjoy the vibrational version of your desire now, and in doing that, you make it faster, because momentum. You're not telling the universe, I don't have it. Where is it? You're telling the universe, I'm a billionaire right now, because in my mind, I'm imagining. In my mind, I'm seeing myself paying all my parents' bills. I'm seeing myself I'm really finding the feeling place, because that's the thing. You have to find the feeling place of your desire, because that's how you become pure in your frequency. And so we want you to have everything that you want, but we want you to have fun in the process. But we also want you to be so rich and so famous and so delicious, and to be so living in such a delicious way that you're just like, yes, I can't believe I get to live this life. But we know that the reason why you want all that stuff is to feel good, and we know that right now you can accomplish that feeling good, and that feeling of and that accomplishment of feeling good, and that achievement of the vibration, you're going to start to have a lot more fun. Your ride is going to start picking up, because now you're going to start saying things like, yeah, I'm on the brink of that. It's just right there. I can feel it. And then that's it. Because you go in there in your mind. You're not waiting for reality to catch you. You're not waiting for reality, because now you understand there's no veil. There's no veil. There's no fantasy world. There is no fantasy world. The world in my head is not something that I'm creating. It's not a pipe dream. It's truly something that I'm imagining. It's truly something that I'm receiving. I'm receiving this image from source. I'm translating a reality that it's not physical yet. But that's fine. I'm translating in my mind, and that's enough for me, because when I think about my billions of dollars, and my house, and my car, and my body, when I look in the mirror, and my financial assets, and my achievements on the wall, and my books in the bookstore, and my music in the library, the audio libraries in all over the world, and my name in the tabloids for the best things in the world. When I see that in my mind, I feel it. I literally feel it. I feel it. It's like, who can tell me I can't have it? Because I have it right now. I can see it in my mind. I can go anywhere I want in my mind. But before, I thought that was a pipe dream. Before, I thought I was just lying to myself. Before, I thought I was just having my head in the clouds. But now I know I'm just translating vibration. Because everything is a translation of vibration. Do you know that? Because this reality that you're seeing is just a translation of your vibration. But you make it so meaningful. You give so much meaning to it. You give so much importance to it. But we're like, even in your mind, when you're receiving an image, or when you aren't imagining, or you're daydreaming, you're also translating a reality in the same way that you see with your eyes, but you're only seeing it in your mind. So if you can see it in your mind, you're so close to it. And we don't want to stay close as in it's gonna pop any second, because it's time is really it's not only the time is relative, the time is not a factor, because when you're enjoying it in your mind right now, time becomes irrelevant because you're living it now. And so that really is it, because you got things to clean up, you really do, because you have 2 points of attraction, you have this guidance system, and you can't really say that I'm lost, because anything that you want, you can lead yourself there, you truly can. But you really have to start with this understanding that here I stand right now, and there's my vibrational reality, and it's about this relationship. So am I connected to my vibrational reality, or am I connected to this world that I'm seeing with my eyes? Am I compounding where I am right now? Am I judging where I am? Because here's the thing, you can't make an accurate judgment about the progress of where you are in relationship to your desires based on what you're seeing today, based on what you're seeing, truly. And anyways, isn't everything for the fun of it? Isn't everything for the joy of it? So we're like, just in your mind, depart in your mind, go receive reality the way that you want it to be, because you know everything. You know everything that we know. And truly, it's like almost like the most that we can really do, because we can't say every message in the world, because the message is always expanding. So we can radiate our energy and our love to you, because we're all kindred spirits, we're all soulmates in that way, because we all promise each other that we all made almost like a pact before we came into these physical bodies, because we knew that we would all find each other on the leading edge, and that we knew that we would all remind each other, and we would all uplift each other, and we would all influence each other by our own examples of being in alignment. We'd all be examples of alignment to each other. And what a slay, what a non-physical slay, seriously. But what a vibe also to really realize that you're shortchanging yourself, because there's so much more to reality than your understanding of, than you can understand with your eyes, and that anyone else can, because you can't go to these, you can't talk to like not regular people, but this is not something that you can explain to people, because they'll literally look at you like you're crazy. But we understand you, because we know that there's so much more that you could be having, truly, because it's almost like, when people say like you're only using like 5% of your total brain capacity, it's like that you're only seeing like 5% of the image in front of you, because you can't see beyond your perception, you can't see beyond your expectation, because you're the one who's achieving the vibrational frequency to which a thought comes to, truly, because you find the emotion first and then the thought comes, because the thought always comes, but it's about what you did vibrationally, the vibrational preparation that you did before the thought came, because the thought, you're receiving mode, you're always, because you're not the thinker of a thought, you're the receiver of a thought. That's why daydreaming is so powerful. But the powerfulness in daydreaming is just a distraction from what is, because that's the value of what is, that's the value of even what is, because now you know what you want, now you know what you need to, what you want to imagine in your mind, and everything is, and there's no one doing anything to you. Just remember that, friends, you're not learning any lessons, you're not going through anything, it's now, your connection is now, and you got this, because all you have to do is go in the direction of the stream, even no matter how many times, no matter what you have been through. It doesn't matter how many times you try, it doesn't matter, because it's all about now. But the more you make it matter, the more you bring the past into the present moment with you, the more you lose your connection, the more you're bound to stay here forever. So friends, imagine everything that you want in your mind, go there in your mind, because you're transiting vibration. You're transiting a vibration, and so you become this blended being. You become completely at odds with the reality that you're seeing, because you don't care, and then everything is manifesting. You will see everything manifest, and everything will manifest in record time, because timing becomes relevant. Because by the time what you want, when your manifestation comes into the tangible form, it's like, I've been enjoying you this whole time. It's like, by the time it comes into your physical reality, you're like, whatever, because because you know what's crazy is like, when you begin to practice the frequency of it, you begin to imagine it. When you get to daydream it, when you begin to translate in your mind in the form of an image, because that's what you're doing, you're unconsciously, translating these vibrations into images of your desires, usually, then you're practicing the frequency, you're getting used to the frequency, you're doing the real work, you're literally practicing frequency of being a billionaire. And in doing that, the image gets stronger and stronger and stronger, so much that it becomes stronger than reality, because that's why your manifestations don't come, because where you are plays a bigger player in your vibration. You're giving more attention, more airtime to where you are instead of where you want to be, because you're not telling the vibrational story, you're telling the story of where you've been, and the story of what but we're saying is that that's the only reason why, because otherwise you would have been flying, otherwise your reality would have caught up to your fantasy world. But it's not a fantasy world, it's just a world that you can't see it, but you can feel it in your mind, because you're an extension of source. What a video, what power, what knowledge, what times that we are now living in. We're truly living in a time of awakening. But every generation has a time of awakening. It truly means that the energy is faster now, and the difference between those who are getting what they want and those who are not getting what they want, the difference between those who are confused and those who are completely clear are so it's very clear to us. It's very clear to everyone. The babies that are coming in, they're coming in with this knowledge that they know who they are, and they're gonna find who they are. And there's so much information out there. There's so many ways for them to find who they are out there, and examples of alignment. And we love that for everyone, truly, because this is a time that we all put ourselves in this time in. You put yourself in this body, no matter how bad it is, no matter how much contrast you experience, because you knew that there'd be value in it for you. You knew that you'd be able to figure it out. You didn't fear anything. And so we want to get you situated and ready to hop back into your reality in a way where you can truly get everything that you want, because we're cheering for you.